All right. What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are rocking and rolling, ready for an awesome week. We're starting off Monday the right way. I got a little glare coming through right over there. We got to fix that. Is that any better? Any worse? Man, that's going to be annoying. Interesting. I wonder if I can cover that up somehow. Anyway, what's going on, guys? So I had quite a crazy week in the best way possible. It was awesome. I hung out with some multimillionaires, investors, authors, entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, and just some of the best human beings on this planet last week. Last week I was away. For those of you that don't know, I was in San Diego, California, and I was hanging out with a lot of people who are very influential to me and to my life. And I learned a lot of stuff from them while I was there. But actually something really funny happened while I was away. So I was talking to people about credit. And, credit is one of the things that I love to share with people because I've had a lot of tangible results with credit. So I was actually able to 20x my credit limit in 12 months. So I have 20 times the amount of available credit today that I had 12 months ago. And one of my favorite things to show people is how to 3 times or 4 times their amount of credit so that they have this debt accessible for them to use on certain projects. And here was the really funny part. I'm part of a group on Facebook that teaches credit and teaches credit hacks. However, in that group, they do things a little bit differently than the way that I do it. Not saying that either of us is right or either of us is wrong, just different. And what they do differently than what I do is they use their credit to accumulate travel miles, to accumulate the rewards so they can travel for free or almost free in hotels and on airlines. What I do with credit is very different. A lot of people are focused so much on this credit score, having this perfect credit score. I don't care about credit score. I care about credit limits and credit availability because credit is really just cash. It's a private money lender who has an infinite amount of money, in a sense, that they want to lend out. In fact, they're asking people, they're begging people to take this money from them so that they can make money off of their money. So anyway, let me get back to the story. I put a post up in this group that I'm a part of on Facebook. And I said, hey, I'm out here in San Diego, California, just sharing some credit tips, having a blast. And I put that out. And then in the comments, I got some interesting engagement on that post and some interesting opportunities to open up conversations in there. Someone asked, hey, give us a tip. What's a tip that you have for us? And I gave them a very simple tip, just an easy, one-line comment to put in there, which is your average daily balance is more important than APR or your annual percentage rate. And everybody got confused. A lot of the people in there were like, what do you mean? I don't get it. Average daily balance. And I said, yeah, you guys asked for a quick tip. Here's the quick tip. Your interest accumulates on a daily basis, which means pay off, basically in a nutshell, if you guys want to know about credit card interest, pay it off the day that the bill shows up, because the longer you let that bill wait, the more you're going to pay in interest. That's the basics of it. But anyway, we went down this rabbit hole, and I was really surprised where it landed. And people in the group were saying, we don't carry balances on our credit cards. We don't have balances. It's bad. Having balances is bad. We don't want balances. No balances. And I was so confused. I said, why is carrying a balance on your card bad? Now, don't get me wrong. 30-day lates are bad. Don't have any 30-day lates. Don't have any 60-day lates. Don't have any 90-day lates. But carrying a balance can be a way of optimizing this tool of credit, even if you're carrying that balance for a long time. If you know how to use it properly, you can optimize this tool correctly. And basically what I mean by that is I used a very simple example. Let's just say you're a real estate investor. Okay, you're a real estate investor and you buy a rental property. You buy a rental property and the rental property needs $30,000 worth of work. You decide you're going to put that $30,000 worth of work onto your credit card. So now for the next 3 to 6 months, while that rehab is going on, you have a balance. You're carrying a balance on your credit card. So this credit card balance is floating from month to month. Now, every month when you get paid, you first pay your credit card so that you don't get a 30-day late. Even if it's just the minimum payments for the next 3 to 6 months, you pay your credit card so that you don't get a 30-day late on it. You have no late payments, so you're paying it off every month. You're not paying it off. You're paying the minimums every month. Then once the rehab is completed, you refinance out of that property and you get $50,000 in tax-free cash. Tax-free cash. Now the first $30,000 of that $50,000 goes back into your credit card. So you paid your credit card off now. Now you're not carrying a balance anymore. Plus you have $20,000 in in tax-free cash. Yeah, cash-free. Cash-free cash. Tax-free cash that you're carrying. Right? So now you made $20,000 off of your $30,000 worth of credit. And I think we have a comment in here. Hey, what's going on, Ken? Let me bring Ken's comment up here. What's up, Ken? Ken says, I am alive. That I am. I just saw you on Friday. What do you mean I'm alive? Of course I'm alive. So anyway, let me finish my story, Ken. You're throwing me off. I'm glad you're here. You're watching. I got a bunch of other people watching. If you guys are watching and you want your comments to go live, drop a comment down below, and I'll bring it up on screen for you guys. You guys can ask me any questions you want. Anyway, we're supposed to be talking about risk as it pertains to debt. So I gave this example in the group, right? You buy a rental property, use $30,000 on the credit card, get $50,000 out. You carried a balance during the time of the rehab, but now your balance is paid off and you actually made money through that transaction. And you know what kind of response I got? Someone said to me, well, that's a very risky thing to do with your credit cards. And it got me thinking. And I said, yeah, you know what? Maybe it is risky. Maybe there is some risk doing that. And the reason it's risky is because you're utilizing debt, right? And he just mentioned there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong in that deal. Right? What if you can't get out in 6 months? What if you can't refinance anymore? What if the bank all these things, right? And there's all of these variables. And it got me thinking about risk because I've heard people talk about risk in so many different ways, right? I help people get started in the business of real estate investing. They get started investing. They get started with stock options trading and real estate investing and all kinds of different other things. And I hear it all the time. People say, oh, I don't want to invest in X because X is very risky, or I don't want to invest in Y because Y is risky, right? There's a lot of risk doing that. And what I came to realize is that risk is really in the eye of the beholder. Let me say that a better way. Let's use investments as an example since we're talking about it right now. There is no such thing as a risky investment. There is only a risky investor. What do I mean by that? Let me give you a really simple example. Okay, 2 humans, 1 gun. Okay, let's just run it this way. A 13-year-old kid and a Marine, a trained Marine, a veteran Marine with 20 plus years in the business, they both go to a shooting range together. 2 of them go to this shooting range and there's only 1 gun in this shooting range. The 13-year-old fires his first shot downrange. The kick of the gun is so strong that it comes all the way back and he shoots himself in the shoulder and gets a flesh wound. Then he hands the gun to the Marine, and the Marine fires off an entire clip from that gun, all bullseyes, straight right on the dot. Boom, every single time, no questions asked. Square bullseyes right down the range. Now, is the gun risky? Is the gun something that has risk in it, or is it the user? See, the action is never risky. It's the user that creates the risk there. What I mean by that is this 13-year-old is going to go home and he's going to say, man, guns are so risky. I'm never using a gun again. This is overwhelming. This is scary. This is crazy. This is, stay away from it. Whereas the Marine's going to say, man, I'm going to use this gun all the time. This could be a great thing for, whatever, for self-defense, for, using in the Marine Corps, in whatever, because he's trained with it. Your level of education is directly proportionate to the level of risk that something has. So if we have no education in something, yes, of course, it's going to be risky at that point. Of course, there's going to be a risk associated with it because we're not educated in how to use that thing. The 13-year-old was not educated in how to use this gun. The Marine was educated, And therefore, there's less risk associated with using that gun for somebody who's trained. If you're a trained real estate investor and you know how real estate investing works and you understand credit and you understand debt, you'll realize that debt is just a tool. It's neutral. It's neither risky nor conservative. But the user is what creates the risk or the non-risk in any situation. So keep that in mind. The next time you say that something is risky, think about yourself. Think about what level of risk am I bringing to this thing by entering into it? Because think about it. If you think that the stock market is risky, but you never invest in the stock market because you think it's risky, there's actually zero risk that you are going to lose money in the stock market now because you're not invested in it. It's the most opposite way of thinking. But when you think about it that way, it makes perfect and complete sense. It makes total sense when you say, oh my God, the stock market's so risky. I don't want to invest in the stock market. It's so risky. Well, for you, there's zero risk because you're not invested in the stock market, right? But if Warren Buffett is investing in the stock market, is it still risky? Is there still, now look, there may still be a level of danger in there, right? There may still be a level of danger, but the education supersedes that possibility of danger. There's danger with a 13-year-old and a Marine shooting a gun downrange, but it's less likely that danger will affect the Marine than it will affect the 13-year-old. That's what I mean. Your level of education is directly proportionate to the level of risk that something has. In fact, they're actually inverse. The more educated you are, the less risky something becomes, versus the less educated you are, the more risky something becomes. They're on this alternating scale between the two of them. So I think that I really kind of grasped risk finally after this conversation that I had last week in this Facebook group. And I hope that this helps you guys. I'm gonna be writing a little bit more on my page about risk and just everything that I do. I kind of want to add this into what's going on with everything else because I think that it's such an important message and it's so simple. So on that note, I'm signing off today. I got a heart for that one. I love whoever sent me the heart. If you guys are down in the comments and you want to say hello, Eric Zimmerman says, boom. I think Eric thinks that I nailed it. Thanks for being here, Eric. I'm so glad you're around. This is awesome stuff. Contractors are working upstairs, so I got to peace out. I will see you guys next time.